Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Carolina Health Park for the 2026 Conference Carolinas Baseball Tournament. Tonight's game features the number 10 seed Southern Wesleyan Warriors and the number 7 seed Erskine Flying Fleet. Now, let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the designated visiting team, the Warriors of Southern Wesleyan. Leading off and playing shortstop, a senior from Summerville, South Carolina, Tristan Tillman. Batting second, playing in left field, a senior from Liberty, South Carolina, number 28, Nolan Evans. Batting third, the designated hitter, a junior from Windsor, Pennsylvania, number 18, Ethan Schimmel. Batting fourth, a sophomore, first baseman from Cornelius, North Carolina, number 50, Cole Kirshner. Batting fifth, playing in third base, a junior from Fountain Inn, South Carolina, number 5, Terry Dyer. Batting sixth, playing in second base, a freshman from Hamilton, Ohio, number 23, Kenny Boland. Batting seventh, the right fielder, a senior from Pendleton, South Carolina, number 0, Luke Taylor. Batting eighth and catching, a freshman from Canton, Georgia, number 28, Seth Head. Batting ninth, the center fielder, a junior from Roswell, Georgia, number 22, Matthew McCaffrey. The starting pitcher for Southern Wesleyan, a freshman from Simpsonville, South Carolina, number 41, Caleb Gregory. Southern Wesleyan is head coached by Matthew Robinson, assisted by Anthony Zerke and Andy Schroeder. Now the starting lineup for the designated home team, the Erskine Flying Fleet. Leading off, playing in left field.
Hello and good evening. We come to you live from Carolina Health Park here in Gastonia, North Carolina for the first day of the 2026 Conference Carolinas Baseball Championship. We got game number 2 getting ready to get going here in just a couple minutes as the number 10 seed, the Southern Wesleyan Warriors, take on the number 7 seed, the Erskine Flying Fleet. Tony Venegas alongside Ben Otten on the call for you here. We just got done with our first game, Ben, with King defeating Emmanuel 10-6, and with the matchup here between Southern Wesleyan and Erskine, we should have another good one on our hands here tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good one indeed. A couple of teams that played against each other in the regular season, so some familiarity there, but two teams that can really score. They kind of go about it in different ways, but we saw offense in the first game with King and Emmanuel. I anticipate we'll see some more here in the nightcap tonight, and it should be a fun one.
Yeah, so taking a look at really the Southern Wesleyan team, 16-35 on the season, the number 10 seed. They kind of had to wait and see whether they were going to get in the tournament, but are back for the first time since 2021. And head coach Matthew Robinson, I know when we talked with him this week, was very excited about getting his team an opportunity to play in the postseason again.
It was really cool listening to him talk about, we were kind of asking about the team and the growth that he had seen from his team over the year, but he said over the years I've had to grow as a coach, and watching his team kind of grow up with him over the last couple of years and just build this program up really from the ground up when Coach Robinson got there, and they have a fun offense, and there's the lineup for Southern Wesleyan tonight.
Taking a look at the starting lineup here, Tristan Tillman, you're going to hear a lot about him as his ability to run the base pass. He will lead things off. He's playing shortstop. Nolan Evett is your left fielder. Ethan Schimmel, the DH, batting third. Cole Kirshner in the cleanout spot. Perry Dyer at third base, bats fifth. Cade Bowling is batting in the sixth spot, playing at second base. Luke Taylor, the right fielder, gets a start. He's in the seventh spot. In the eighth spot is the catcher, Seth Pettit. And rounding out the lineup is Matthew McCaffrey for Southern Wesleyan. And you see Caleb Gregory getting the start for Southern Wesleyan. We will see him in the bottom half of this first inning. And the Southern Wesleyan lineup will contend with the junior left-hander for Erskine. That would be number 37, Chase Gruby, the junior from Loxahatchee, Florida, transfer from Palm Beach State College. And Ben going up against a lefty pitcher for Erskine, and sure one of probably quite a few pitchers what we'll see here for this Fleet lineup tonight.
Yeah, Coach Bateman and the rest of the Erskine staff will be hoping that Gruby can get deep into the game. They've had to kind of piece some things together, but when Gruby's been right, he's been able to pitch deep into games over the course of the year. Palm Beach State College transfer, a JUCO down in Florida. He was actually committed to play at Limestone before they shut their doors right at the end of last spring, so had to reopen his recruitment. Co-head coach Scotty Bateman had known him previously when Coach Bateman was down coaching in Florida against Gruby, and that was part of the reason why Gruby chose to continue his collegiate career in Erskine. And he's been kind of the Game 2 starter for the Fleet for most of the year, but gets the ball here in Game 1. That gives you an idea of the faith and the belief that the Fleet staff have in Gruby. He's going to have his hands full and right out of the gate because Tristan Tillman is a thorn in everyone's side with his athleticism.
Oh, yeah, and as Tillman steps up to the plate, Southern Wesleyan back in the conference tournament. As mentioned, first time since 2021. Lost to Barton in that game. We get 23-8, and obviously for Southern Wesleyan fans hoping for a better result this time around. but still, we got a group that's come a long way from the beginning of the season. Gruby fires the first pitch, and that one is in for ball one, and we are underway from Gastonia.
So Tristan Tillman, 44 stolen bases in the regular season. That led the entire country at the Division II level.
That one misses high. And this is a Southern Wesleyan team that's known for stealing bases. In fact, coming into today, 150 out of 181 in that category, as you mentioned. Tillman, 44 of 50, and then Nolan Evett, the guy behind him, so that one misses for ball three. Evett, 33 of 36. So the first two, first two guys in the order for Southern Wesleyan, you know exactly what they're going to try to do when they get on base.
Falling behind guys is not going to work well for Gruby. There's his first strike. They played in the regular season, and Erskine did a nice job on Tristan Tillman. He was just 3 for 11 in the series, only stole one base, which when you steal 44 in a season, I think the Fleet will take that number being as low as it was.
As he swings and misses that one, the count goes full 3-2. And with Tillman, he broke the single-season school record for steals in the season, and the team also broke a school record on its own right. Here's the 3-2 from Gruby. That one fouled back, and Tillman stays alive. We'll do it again.
When you play against a team like this, it's crazy how quickly they can speed you up as a pitcher. I mean, one guy gets on, and they just about all of them can run, and they can just make things happen because of that.
And that one is in there for strike three. Got him looking. Nice job there by Gruby to work his way from a 3-0 count to retire Tillman. And that is the first out of the game. And I know it's just the first out, but that still feels like a pretty big strikeout.
I would imagine Chase Gruby took a big sigh of relief off the back of the mound. Did a nice job getting all the way back into the account. And anytime you can keep Tristan Tillman off base, that is advantage for the other team.
Now here is Nolan Evett as he pops that one up. That's going to be a tough play. Gruby fields it. He throws it. That one gets away. And here comes Evett over to second base. And he will be in safely. So it was a little blooper. That was going to be a tough play for Gruby no matter what. But then when he fielded it, just threw it past the first baseman. And well, we'll see what they score here. But I would imagine it probably would be a hit and an error. That's what it appears to be.
I was thinking the same thing. I think if Chase Gruby could do it again, he probably would have just held on to it. I mean, that was a tough play. A pitcher is hardly ever in that spot. I mean, can't imagine he's ever practiced that throw. And it just looked really uncomfortable for Gruby, but a runner in scoring position now for Southern Wesleyan.
And that brings up the designated hitter, Ethan Schimmel. That one bounces in the turf for ball one. Schimmel, junior from Windsor, Pennsylvania, the transfer from Hagerstown Community College, standing in at the plate at 6'6", 235. So certainly an imposing presence at the plate, batting from the left-hand side. Gruby sets and fires. That one fouled back, and the count goes to 1-1.
Schimmel, 3 hits in the series in Due West in the regular season, but 2 of them came in Southern Wesleyan's lone win, the series finale.
It started in 49 of the 50 games that Southern Wesleyan has played this season. Here's the pitch. That one fouled away. Once again, the count goes to 1-2.
You can see the fastball. It's looked good right out of the gates for Chase Gruby. He'll get it up into the high 80s from that left side. Good slider and a changeup to go along with it as well.
And Evans standing at second base. That one misses outside. Count goes to 2-2. Schimmel coming into this one, actually one of the top hitters for this Southern Wesleyan team, batting .351 in the season. Also leads the team 9 home runs, 53 RBI. And that one looks like it went off his elbow. And so a hit by pitch, and Schimmel reaches base. And so just like that, the Warriors have runners first and second with 1 out.
Well, you don't have to get out of the way. No, you just can't lean into it. And you see Schimmel with that front elbow, just kind of held it right there as the breaking ball got away from Gruby.
So here is Cole Kirshner getting the start at first base today. Batting just under 300, 297 coming into this one. 5 home runs, 36 driven in on the season. And he lines that one down the line. That is going to be a fair ball. A base hit for Southern Wesleyan. 1 run comes in to score. Kirshner on his way to second. He slides. He's safe. And Southern Wesleyan gets on the board with an RBI double from Cole Kirshner down the line. It is 1-0 Warriors here in the first.
Coming into this tournament, Southern Wesleyan head coach Matthew Robinson said Cole Kirshner has probably been their best hitter of late, and he keeps it rolling into the postseason. Drove that into the right field corner. And Southern Wesleyan gets an early lead and a momentum boost as well, and now they have the table set for what could be a big first inning as well.
I mean, this is what we kind of saw in the first game with Emmanuel and King. And King led off, got a couple of runs. He had a leadoff ground rule double, and then a home run from Logan Janney, and you could kind of tell that it really kind of set the tone for the Tornado in that game. And Southern Wesleyan trying to duplicate that here. Already 1 run on the board, looking for more. As Dyer takes that one for a ball.
Might be a little bit of a feeling of deja vu for Chase Gruby. He pitched 4 innings against the Warriors in the regular season, only gave up 4 runs in that outing, but all 4 of those were in the first inning, and he's run into some first inning trouble again here today.
That one is in there for a strike. It looked like Dyer had to maybe get out of the way of that one for a second, but home plate umpire Damian Gatling makes the call of strike. It was 1 ball, 1 strike. Southern Wesleyan with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. That one is in there for another strike, 1-2. Your umpires for tonight: Damian Gatling behind the plate, Stephen Grady at first base, Caleb Groom at second base, and Ashley Smith is your third baseman. Third base umpire. Ruby sets. He's ready to go. The 1-2. That one hit in the air, foul out of play.
So Kirshner at second after his RBI double, and Perry Dyer at the plate. Those guys were teammates at Limestone last season. Both made the move from Gaffney over to Central. Head coach Matthew Robinson talked about what a boost they have been in the middle of the Southern Wesleyan lineup. Trying to deliver a couple more runs here in the early going here for the Warriors. The pitch is in there for strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Chase Gruby. Second one looking, and an all-important second out here for Erskine as they try to keep the damage to just 1 run here in this first inning. The fastball's been good for Chase Gruby here in this first inning, really, other than that 1 pitch to Kirshner where he doubled down the line. There's a couple of really good fastballs, particularly on the glove side there to Freeze Dyer.
Here is Cade Bowling, 6th batter in the lineup for Southern Wesleyan. Takes that one low for ball 1. Bowling coming in, batting .288 on the year, 4 home runs, 30 driven in on the season.
Another left-on-left matchup. A lot of left-handed hitters in this Southern Wesleyan
ground ball that's sawed off at the end. Good play by Radke. Fields it in time to get the third out, but Southern Wesleyan strikes first thanks to an RBI double from Cole Kirshner to get it going as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Southern Wesleyan up 1-0 here in the Conference Carolinas Digital Network.
Champions in body, mind, and soul is about the development of the whole student athlete. A Conference Carolinas committed to excellence in all aspects, championship experience,
Welcome back here to Caramont Health Park in Gastonia. Tony Venegas alongside Ben on as we go to the bottom of the first. Southern Wesleyan with a 1-0 lead on the Erskine Flying Fleet, who are due up here in this first inning. You take a look at the lineup there for Erskine. Potts, McManus, Pierce, Radke, the second baseman, first team all-conference. Your first three batters, Danny Villafane, your shortstop, Ricky Dober, Noah Hill, Quinn Allen, Stephen Kreiner, and Carson Yates are your 9 in the order for Erskine. Going up against the right-handed pitcher for Southern Wesleyan, Caleb Gregory, coming in making just his second start of the season. The freshman right-hander from Simpsonville, South Carolina, actually pitched okay in his last time out at 4 innings against Shorter, struck out 6. But Ben going up against an Erskine lineup that can certainly generate a lot of offense.
And has been playing well of late, but Caleb Gregory's been pitching well of late. His role was very limited to start the year. 1 inning tops in each of his outings all the way until this month, and then it has gotten stretched out as head coach Matthew Robinson and his staff have grown more trust in the freshman right-hander Caleb Gregory, and none more trust than this one. Here's the ball in a winner-take-all game.
Yep, and as Gregory sets and fires, and that one misses low to the leadoff batter for Erskine. That'll be Drew Potts getting the start at left field tonight, adding 347 on the year. And as you mentioned, been an Erskine lineup that's been swinging the bat very, very well as of late. That one misses high, 4-2.
Drew Potts just the model of consistency atop the order. He's hitting 41 of his last 43 games.
Trying to get things going here for Erskine after giving up the 1 run there in the top of the first inning. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball that doesn't get the call from home plate umpire Damian Gatling, and the count quickly goes to 3-0.
You do just have to worry a little bit about, if you're Caleb Gregory, trying to get down into and below the zone, especially as a freshman in this stage.
That one is in there for a strike.
All the adrenaline flowing, the juice is flowing. Just got to make sure you finish each pitch.
Now one lined into center field, and coming in to make the catch is Matthew McCaffrey, battling the sun a little bit there, but able to secure it in his glove for the first out.
A little bit of awkward sunlight at this 5 o'clock hour here over at Caramont Health Park, but a nice job by McCaffrey in center field. Got a perfect read off the bat.
So that brings up the designated hitter, Mason McManus, one of the leaders in terms of average on the season, batting just under 400 on the year. 8 home runs and 50 runs batted in to his credit. That one misses outside for ball 1.
McManus really carried this Erskine offense the first month and a half of the year when a lot of other guys were really struggling. He kind of kept them above water.
That one misses in the dirt for ball 2. McManus, the senior from Pensacola, Florida, played previously at Santa Fe College. Just trying to get Erskine its first base runner, try to come up with a response after Southern Wesleyan put up a run in the first inning. Hits that one in the air into left field. That one's going back, and that is gone. That one took a long time to come all the way down, but Mason McManus delivers a solo home run here in the bottom of the first inning, and this game is tied at 1.
A cloud scraper off the bat of Mason McManus. Here's another look at it. I mean, that is a pop-up, and it just kept going. The wind kind of blowing out based on the way the flags are moving out in left field, but it must just carried. I mean, you don't have to hit it far.
Nope.
But that was like a pop-up off the bat.
I mean, and the other thing to keep in mind, at least when we're looking out towards left field, it's only 304 down the line. So, and now the wall is high, but if you think about how good these hitters are in Conference Carolinas, that's not. It doesn't really take a whole lot to get one out of the park. That one misses low to Pierce Radke, second baseman, first team all-conference selection for Erskine. So McManus hits his 9th home run of the year. And just like that, we are all tied at 1. One in there for a strike. Radke, the senior from Canada, from Maple Ridge British Columbia. And misses. Also played his junior college ball at Yavapai College in Arizona. So Canada to Arizona to due west South Carolina, all very different places.
He has made the rounds, that's for sure.
Big swing and a miss that time for Radke, and that one is in there for a strike. 2-2.
Co-head coach Jamie Prince, who coaches third base for Erskine, called Pierce Radke one of the most pure hitters he's ever seen.
Radke trying to get something going here. The 2-2. That one fouled back. Of course, Erskine, obviously the different setup this year with the co-head coaches, with Scotty Bateman and Jimmy Prince. And and you can probably speak more to this, but definitely a unique setup in college baseball. Don't really see a lot of co-head coaches. But here's the 2-2 from Gregory. Ground ball. Fielded cleanly by Tillman. Throw to first is in time for the second out. That's a nice play that time by Tristan Tillman, making a good throw. And I think the other thing we mentioned in the first game, be interesting to see how these fielders respond to taking the balls off the bounce in the turf. We'll take another look at it, and Radke out by just about a step.
That's also a nice job by Kirshner over at first to dig that out, because Tillman couldn't really get anything on the throw based on the way he fielded it.
So that brings up the shortstop for Erskine, Danny Villafane. Takes a big cut at that one and misses for strike one. Villafane batting .326 on the year coming into this one. It's actually tied with McManus and the team lead in RBI coming into this one. Not sure what happened there with Gregory. That one fell behind. It looked like that one just may have slipped out of his hands that time.
Certainly keeps the hitter uncomfortable
whenever
sure. That happens.
I don't think he meant to do that, but just gets settled back in. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss for Villafane, and the count is now 1-2.
That's a good fastball from Caleb Gregory. Danny Villafane, not a guy who usually swings and misses much. He hasn't been able to get to the fastball from Gregory yet.
And Gregory sets and fires the 1-2. That one popped up in the air. And that one will stay in the infield and falls right into the glove of the third baseman, Perry Dyer, and that will end the inning. But Erskine responds with the run thanks to the solo home run from Mason McManus. So go to the second, game tied at 1 here in the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. Welcome back here, Claremont Health Park in Gastonia. Tony Venegas alongside Ben Otten. Game number 2, the 2026 Conference Carolinas Baseball Championship. And gotten off to a good start in this one. Both teams getting a run on the board, tied at 1, going into the second inning. And Luke Taylor get things going for Southern Wesleyan here in the second against the left-hander Chase Gruby. And Gruby kind of got in a little bit of trouble early in that first inning, but was able to work his way out of it, just giving up the 1 run. Taylor takes that one for a strike.
I felt like a big moment. I mean, it's in the first inning, yes, but that did feel like a big moment. Second and third, 1 out, and Gruby was able to keep Southern Wesleyan to just that 1 run before that situation.
In this inning, we'll have Luke Taylor, Seth Pettit, and Matthew McCaffrey, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for Southern Wesleyan at the plate. Gruby fires. That one lined towards left field, and that one is going to go right in front of the wall. That's going to be a base hit. Taylor taking a charge. He slides into second. He's safe. So a leadoff double for the Southern Wesleyan right fielder, Luke Taylor, and the Warriors picking up right where they left off in the first inning.
Ball just continues to carry out to left field. Potts was shaded over towards the gap. Had no chance to get to it. That ball tailing back towards the line. Taylor recognized he had a chance at a double out of the box.
I mean, and that's what this at Southern Wesleyan speed, that certainly presents that advantage there. Be able to turn that into extra bases. So that one is in there for a strike to Seth Pettit, the catcher. Runner on second for Southern Wesleyan. Gruby sets. Bunt is laid down. That's a pretty good one. Gruby fires to first, and that is in time for the out. A productive at bat for Pettit, moves the runner over, and Southern Wesleyan now 90 feet away from scoring a second run and retaking the lead.
That's another thing Southern Wesleyan does really well offensively. They're third in the conference in the regular season in sacrifices. And Pettit did a nice job. Tasked Gruby with making a good play.
Yeah, that was not an easy play for Gruby to make, especially as a left-hander trying to turn all the way back around. It's a ground ball. Throw's going to go home, and that play is in time for out number 2. A good play by the third baseman, Ricky Dober, for Erskine, where it looked like he was going to concede the run and throw it to first base, but ultimately decided to go home, and it paid off for him.
He kind of hesitated for a second, but then threw a strike to the plate. It's interesting there. Taylor, I think, he kind of signaled like he wanted Southern Wesleyan to review it. He tried to get out of the way of the tag of Noah Hill. It's been interesting. Southern Wesleyan had elected to challenge that.
So that officially goes down as a 5-2 putout at home. And a fielder's choice for McCaffrey. He's at first base. The lineup turns back over. And Tillman, who struck out looking his first time up, we'll take one more look at that.
I don't. Maybe right there.
Yeah, probably the second time, because if like the first pass through from the catcher Noah Hill, it's fairly close to whether he actually tagged him or not. But on that second look, it appears he does get him on his body for the out. And Southern Wesleyan, the 10 seed, Erskine, the 7 seed. Battling it out. This single elimination playing game. That one misses outside. The winner of this game gets to play the Francis Marion Patriots tomorrow afternoon, and scheduled for a 3 o'clock first pitch here at Caramount Health Park. And tomorrow starts the double elimination portion of the bracket. That one is in there for a strike, and that's a 2-1 count now back to Tillman.
Just keeping an eye on the leads McCaffrey's getting over their season.
Runner goes. That one's in the dirt for ball 2, and the throw is in time. Able to get the runner down at second base, and that ends the inning. Take another look at it as we go to take a break here. That one low, but a strike from Noah Hill, and there is Pierce Radke making the tag, and that will end the inning. So no run score after all that for Southern Wesleyan. We go to the bottom of the second. Game still tied at 1 here at Conference Carolinas Digital Network.
Conference Carolinas would like to thank its great partners, Athletic Solutions, Bob Crosby Insurance, Lockdown Sports, Big Bear Sports, Buffkin Rangers, Builder Services of North Carolina, Championship Award Guide, ConferenceCarolinas.travel.com, Digital Scoreboards, Trees by Hilton, Greenville, Woodland Road, Engine, Executive Thought Partners, Hometown Ticketing, Hour Fund, Huddle, Marriott Spartanburg, McGriff Insurance Services, McMillan Patrick Smith, ODMX, Rocket Alumni Solutions, Sidearm Sports, Southern Recognition LLC, South State Bank, Sport Performance Tracking, Scribe, Team Builder, Uniform, and Current Graphics and Promotions. Please visit ConferenceCarolinas.com/partners to learn more about Conference Carolinas corporate partners.
As institutions founded with a focus on faith, service, or both, we share common values and strive to attain excellence and virtue in all that we do. Conference Carolinas has a rich tradition and roots that dates back to its initial inception on December 6, 1930. Our students are nationally recognized for their extraordinary success in the classroom, in the community, and at the highest levels of NCAA competition. Please visit ConferenceCarolinas.com to learn more about Conference Carolinas. Back ready to go here, bottom of the second inning. Tony Venegas alongside Ben Naughton, Southern Wesleyan Erskine, game tied at 1. Gregory fires the first pitch, and that one's fouled off by the Erskine third baseman Ricky Dober. He'll get things started for the Flying Fleet. Dober, Hill, and Allen all due up in this inning for Erskine. Good one that time. Good breaking pitch from Gregory for a strike, and the count quickly goes to 0-2. Swing and a miss. As Southern Wesleyan will complete the put up, head it to Kirshner at first. That will be out number 1 here in the second.
3 pretty hard-hit balls to start the game off Caleb Gregory. The last 2 batters have been much better. Really sharp against Villafane in the inning, and then 3 excellent pitches to take care of Dober for the first out here in the second.
And that brings up Noah Hill, the catcher, coming in batting .358 on the season. We'll get the last put out back in the top of the second with a caught stealing of McCaffrey. He looked like that was going to be low in the dirt, but looked like that one may have grazed off his ankle. So Hill takes his base with 1 out.
No hesitation from Hill after it came by. And hit the top of the back foot.
So a hit batter. And Erskine has a runner on here for the first baseman, Quinn Allen.
Just a large stretch of the first half of the season with an injury in Quinn Allen. When he came back, Jack Lutheran, who had been filling in his spot, had been so good that Coach Bateman, Coach Prince, they elected to keep Lutheran in the lineup every day. But the last week, Quinn Allen has really turned it on at the plate, so he gets to start over at first.
That one hit right back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit for Allen. Hard charging line drive into center field, and Erskine with its second hit of the game and the first hit of the day for Quinn Allen. As he mentioned, he's been playing well the last week and gotten off to a good start here in this one.
The hit tool has always been there for Quinn Allen, even going back to his days in high school in Germantown, Maryland. He was the number 1 ranked player in the state of Maryland coming out of high school, so he has always been able to hit at a really high level.
That brings up Stephen Kreiner at the plate for Erskine, getting to start at right field today. That one misses high for ball 1. Kreiner, junior from Fayetteville, North Carolina, plays junior college ball at Lewisburg College.
3 hits and a homer in the regular season finale for Kreiner on Saturday, the rubber match at Young Harris.
That one's in there for a strike. In that game, That game really had a lot of impact on the KPI as to like who was seeding. Obviously, Erskine getting the 7th, but knocking off Young Harris. Young Harris moved down to the 4 and Belmont Abbey up to the 3. So that one misses for strike 2. And of course, talked about Southern Wesleyan and the fact that they had a rain-shortened game in the regular season finale against Shorter, and they had to kind of wait out and see whether they were going to make the tournament or not. All coming down to that final day. That one is fouled off. And just with the KPI itself, it's something the conference has been using the last couple of years. It's definitely very different because just you can never really be sure up until every game is played that okay, this is where we're going to be. I think it's been an adjustment for teams in the league. As that one is swung on and missed for strike 3. And that's the second strikeout of the inning for Gregory, and they're 2 down here in the second.
One more look at that tight slider from Gregory for the strikeout. You're talking about the KPI. It kind of causes some problems throughout the season with the way that the KPI kind of relates to the actual standings. There can kind of be some discrepancies and some issues with it, but it irons itself out by the end of the season, and that's what it's designed to do.
The number 9 hitter in the lineup for Erskine, Carson Yates, is at the plate now. The redshirt junior from Chattanooga, Tennessee, by way of Roane State Community College.
Had a walk-off double in the Game 2 win for Erskine against Southern Wesleyan back on March 7th. 3 hits in that game as well.
And this is high. We asked coaches about this, but it's like, obviously when you see a team in the regular season, and a lot of things can change between when you play them and then in the conference tournament, especially in a game like this where this is, winner take all, winner moves on and, the season is over for the losing team. That one's in there for a strike. But I feel like at least with, different personnel, you can kind of at least get a feel for teams, as they play each other in the regular season. A little bit different in the King Emmanuel game because those two teams did not play each other in the regular season. Gregory fires. Swing and a miss.
Worth adding to that as well, Caleb Gregory did not pitch in the series against Erskine back in early March. So all the Fleet had up until this point was the scouting report and the film that they've had.
Runners on first and second. Here's the 2-2 from Gregory. That one hit in the air down the right field line. That's going to go well foul. Count stays at 2-2. Our first full day of Conference Carolinas tournament action tomorrow. With the 2 playing games today and 4 games tomorrow. 3 here and 1 just up the road from us at Sims. Try it again, the 2-2. That one misses for ball 3. And I think much to the chagrin of the Southern Wesleyan fans that are here sitting right below us. We'll take one more look at that.
Must have been low.
Yeah, a little bit low.
Seth Pettit behind the plate could not believe there wasn't a strike call.
So the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Yates. That one driven in the air. That one's going back. That is far, and that is gone into the parking lot over in left field. Erskine with another home run just like that. Erskine takes its first lead of the day, a 3-run home run, makes it 4-1 over Southern Wesleyan.
And Carson Yates does it again to Southern Wesleyan. He might have got a second life after that previous pitch was called a ball, but he made no mistake about that one. A no-doubter halfway into the parking lot over the left center field wall.
And how's this for Carson Yates? This first home run of the season. And it comes at the Conference Carolinas tournament. So big hit that time for the number 9 hitter. And just like that, it's a 4-1 game now here in second. So the lineup turns back over to Potts, who leads things off, who get it going again. Lined out to center field his last time up.
And for all the things that Erskine does well and has done well offensively the last couple of weeks, the home run ball has not really been part of that. But they have 2 of them here in the first 2 innings today. That is an added bonus for what is already a really deep lineup.
So now we have a meeting on the mound here for Southern Wesleyan. And just for the Warriors, I mean, I think at this point, if you're trying to talk to, and it's pretty brief meeting, but I think it's just more just start to try to maybe settle Gregory down a little bit.
He's got to try to move on,
Yeah.
and that's easier said than done because look, he probably should have had a strike 3 call to pitch before the Yates homer, and might just still be thinking about that a little bit. That's human nature to do. So that's a wise decision from Southern Wesleyan coaching staff just to go out there and try to get the freshman to turn the page.
So the count is 1-0 here to Potts. That one, it misses for another ball. We do have some activity in the Southern Wesleyan bullpen when the left-hander is getting loose. That one driven to left field again. That one is going to go off the batting cages. Another home run for Erskine. Back-to-back home runs. First from Yates, and now Drew Potts goes yard. Third home run of the game for Erskine. It is now 5-1.
A laser beam off the bat of Drew Potts. There was no doubt it was hit hard. It was just whether or not it was hit high enough to clear that high wall out in left field, and just got enough underneath of it to clear that yellow line. You could see him hustling out of the box.
Yep.
I don't think he thought it was gone, but it just kept back lifting up over the fence.
That's the fourth home run of the year for Drew Potts. Third home run of the game for Erskine. Second one in as many at-bats. And the Fleet trying to break this game open, and I think just as quickly. It'll be the end of the day for Gregory. Looks like we're going to have a call to the bullpen here for Southern Wesleyan in the second. Erskine, they 5-1 lead. We'll tell you about the new pitcher here in just a second here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. New pitcher in the game for Southern Wesleyan is the left-hander number 13, Matthew White. A sophomore from Alpharetta, Georgia, gets the ball and trying to limit the damage here that Erskine has inflicted here these first couple innings. Back-to-back home runs as White gets the ball, and Erskine will look to try to keep this little offensive surge going. Already 3 home runs in this game. White, the lefty, fires. That one misses for ball.
This is the highest leverage arm that Southern Wesleyan has in their bullpen. Good mix of off-speed stuff for White, but the main pitch is the fastball, which he likes to use at the top of the zone.
That one in there for a strike. On that breaking pitch, a lot of movement on it, as we've seen, and I feel like it's pretty common for a lot of left-handers. You know, breaking pitch, just a ton of movement, curveball, breaking ball, whatever. That one is fouled back towards the Erskine dugout from the one who hit the first home run. That would be Mason McManus on a ball that was hit in the air. That a lot of other places will be a pop-up, but just kind of kept on carrying and kept on going and eventually made its way out of the ballpark. So McManus trying to keep the inning going here for Erskine, behind 1-2. Here's the pitch. That one is lined into left field. That will drop for a base hit. Kind of took a high bounce in front of Nolan Evett, the left fielder, but able to get on top of it, and they single, and McManus now 2 for 2 here in this one for Erskine.
That's excellent two-strike hitting from Mason McManus. White went back to that breaking ball, and McManus was ready for it and timed it up.
So that brings up Pierce Radke. Second baseman grounded out his last time up. As he drives that one into the air in the left center field. McCaffrey gets underneath it, and he makes the catch for the final out of the inning. That's not before Erskine puts up 4 in the second. We go to the third. The Fleet lead 5-1. We're back here in the Conference Carolinas Digital Network.
Erskine in the second. 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. The Conference Carolinas Digital Network, powered by Huddle, is the official digital network of Conference Carolinas. The digital network features all the original live streaming programming for Conference Carolinas. Conference Carolinas Digital Network is available online at conferencecarolinas.com/watch, as well as on platforms such as Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, and Apple TV. Mobile devices, including iPhone, iPad, and Android, will also work with an all web browser. Learn more and start watching now on conferencecarolinas.com/watch.
His wife showed my best friend Mike Fisher. The Dolphins. I beat him today, Shane. I'm still upset about it. And you came out here anyway? I can't get it. I did. You know what? It's a nice day.
We're in the top of the third here. The 2026 Conference Carolinas Baseball Championship, game number 2 of the tournament. The 10 seed Southern Wesleyan Warriors are battling the Erskine Flying Fleet, the number 7 seed, Tony Venegas alongside Ben Otten. So we start the third inning. Southern Wesleyan got off to a good start and got the first run on the board, but the Erskine bats have come to life here these first couple innings.
So the right part of the order here for Southern Wesleyan with Tillman and Evett and the speed and their speed and all the things they can do on the base pass. So these are the guys you want up for Southern Wesleyan as they try to respond immediately.
It looks like Tillman was going to lay down the bunt, and that one misses outside for ball 1. And it's one thing I think you really have to watch with these Southern Wesleyan batters, especially with how fast they are and how much they rely on speed as part of their game. As Tillman puts a drive into that one. That one hit in the center field. And right there to make the catch, no problem, is Carson Yates for the first out. So Tillman retired. That brings up Nolan Evett. Evett batting .350 on the season coming into this one. 41 runs batted in, 5 home runs. That one misses. The Southern Wesleyan team, and talk about with Emmanuel and King, only 39 home runs on the season. So power not really part of their game per se, but they can generate runs in a lot of different ways. Evett fouls that one back.
Evan had 5 hits in the regular season series against Erskine. Singled his first time up today.
That one misses. Is actually coming into this one, if you go back to the series against Barton, in his last 7 appearances, had a hit in each of them, so definitely been able to get things going. Actually had 5 RBI in the game against Barton as he has that one in the air to left field. And making the catch at the warning track is Drew Potts. That will be the second out of the inning.
You hold your breath every time there's a fly ball to left field, especially in this one, the way things have gone. But Evan just couldn't quite get the barrel to it, and Potts right at the front of the track was there for the second out.
So that brings up Ethan Schimmel. He's hit by a pitch his first time up. They appealed, and third base umpire Ashley Smith says he did not go around, so that will be ball 1. Ground ball hit right back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. And Schimmel reaches with 2 out. That sets the stage for the man responsible for the lone run batted into this point for Southern Wesleyan, and then Cole Kirshner.
A nice piece of hitting from Schimmel. Stole 18 bases in the regular season, so Gruby's got a lot going on right now. You got to worry about the runner at first, and Kirshner at the plate, who ripped a double down the right field line off of him first time up.
And that one is driven to center field. That one is going to be caught by the center fielder for Erskine. What a play from Carson Yates, sliding in to make that catch. Not an easy play by any stretch of the imagination. And just like that, the inning is over. We'll take one more look at it. It's one that's just fading away, and Yates, great hustle to slide in and make that catch. And so just like that, we go to the bottom half of the third inning. Erskine with a 5-1 lead here on the Conference Carolina Digital Network.
Carolina's tradition is unmatched and excellence is earned daily. 16 current members traditions who work hard daily to build champions in body, mind, and soul. It's who we are. Please visit ConferenceCarolina.com to learn more about Conference Carolina.
Welcome back here to Caramont Health Park in Gastonia. Tony Venegas alongside Ben Otten as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. Erskine with a 5-1 lead over Southern Wesleyan. And Danny Villafane will get things going here for Erskine. It's Villafane, Dober, and Noah Hill. Middle of the order due up here for Erskine in the third. Going up against Matthew White, who throws a first pitch strike.
The Carson Yates game to this point, 3-run homer in the bottom of the second, sliding play out and centered in the top of the third.
And we've seen some really good defensive plays here in the last game, and then a couple of good ones here in this one. So that one misses outside. Looks like White's really trying to work that curveball, really trying to work that pitch. You just see a lot of it just floats up and then it just drops.
It's a very unique pitch for sure. You don't see a lot of real 12-6 over-the-top curveballs anymore.
That one is hit in the air, going into foul territory, and making the catch is Cole Kirshner. And that'll be the first out.
So after a couple breaking balls, he runs a fastball in on the hands of Villafane, who was a little late getting to it and popped it up.
So with Villafane retired, that brings up Ricky Dober. That one misses 4-1.
It's an interesting offensive approach that Ricky Dober has. You probably wouldn't teach it if you were a hitting coach, but it's tailor-made for this kind of park with that short porch and left. You watch him, he puts so much pressure on his front foot when he strides. It almost looks like he's off balance, but he just turns the hips and he can drive the ball to left field because of that.
That one in there for a strike. Yeah, just now that you mentioned it, just kind of take a look at it. Yeah, it just puts so much pressure on that foot. Yeah, it's like, hey, sometimes you just got to find, what works best for you. So that one hit in the air. That one's popped up. A couple of SWU outfielders giving chase, but that falls into the glove of Evett, and that will be the second out.
Nice job by Matthew White since coming in. Gave up the single to start, but 3 straight outs now, just trying to stem the tide for Southern Wesleyan.
Yeah, because I feel like at this point, obviously still early in the game, the third inning, like you really don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're down by 6, 7, 8 runs. It just makes it really, really tough to dig yourself out of a hole that way. As Hill swings and misses at that one for strike one.
There's that fastball at the top of the zone I was talking about earlier with White that could be so effective.
Hill was hit by pitches last time up and was one of the 3 runs that scored on the home run from Carson Yates. Oh, this is outside. 2 balls and a strike. Battle of the number 10 seed, Southern Wesleyan, and the number 7 seed, Erskine. White not taking much time here. Here's the pitch. That one in there for a strike. I was just about to say, at least maybe, I might be overestimating a little bit, but the way the ball arches on the curveball kind of reminds me of Clayton Kershaw on this curveball in a lot of ways.
And it's playing into the zone of home plate umpire Damian Gatling, who's giving that pitch up around the letters.
Yep. The 2-2. That one fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases empty here for Erskine. As Hill trying to keep the inning going for the Fleet. The 2-2. That one misses low. Kind of looked like Hill was going to take a swing at it, but then quickly stopped.
You can tell Noah Hill's in a really good place offensively. He finished the regular season on a real high, and that's a really impressive take, especially in a 2-strike count.
So White gets set. He's ready to go. Here's the 3-2. Now he misses outside for ball 4, and so Hill reaches for the second time tonight. And the Fleet have our base runner on here with 2 out for Quinn Allen.
Now batting, first baseman, number 24, Quinn Allen.
Ground ball. Kirshner fields it. White giving chase, and he drops it. That one gets away as he's trying to make the tag. Allen makes his way to second. Hill over to third. Everybody safe. And what looked like it was going to be at least still a fairly close play at first base turns into runners now in scoring position with 2 out.
I wonder if Schimmel could do it, or pardon me, if Kirshner could do it again if he would have just let his second baseman take it. And he throws it away. Both runners move up. What looked like it was going to be a nothing for any inning for Erskine now has become a threat.
And officially a throwing error. as Kreiner fouls that one back. Also looked like that throw from Kirshner was just maybe a little bit behind Matthew White. So.
It is tough. You're trying to hit a moving target when you're a first baseman, trying to feed your pitcher, making that run over to first base in stride.
So 0-1, and that one driven towards left field. That one's down the line. Is that going to stay fair? Yes, it is. How about it? Make it the 4th home run for Erskine. Just like that, it is now 8-1 for the Fleet. And the bats have come to life here in Gastonia.
Stay hot, Steven Kreiner. This is a guy that Erskine brought in, and they thought they were getting a real superstar, and it could not have started any worse this year for Steven Kreiner, but he has turned the corner, and that's an indication of what he can bring to a team offensively. Just launch that over the left field wall. The only question was whether it was going to stay fair, and just got it straight enough to keep it from hooking and kept it inside the foul pole.
So all 3 of those runs will go down as unearned for White. And that brings up one of the other home run hitters in this game, Carson Yates. So already 4 home runs in this game for Erskine.
Steve Kreiner was 4 for 27 to start the year, and I was talking to co-head coach Scotty Bateman some, and he could tell that Kreiner was frustrated with himself, and basically just told Kreiner, look, go do other things well. Go contribute to the game in other ways. He's not just a hitter. He can do just about anything you need him to do on a baseball field. And so he pinch ran for some games. He was a defensive replacement for a game. Went almost 2 weeks without getting an at-bat as a result. But Coach Bateman and the staff, they just wanted Kreiner to kind of try to move on from that slow start. And since coming back into the lineup the last couple of weeks, he has just been outstanding at the plate.
And just a guy that, just sometimes it takes that little bit of time to kind of get yourself back right, and just really just trying to, do what you can to like you said, contribute in a lot of different ways.
We were talking about it earlier, but the home runs have not really been a part of what Erskine has done over the course of the year. They've slugged a bit more the last couple of weeks as the offense has really gotten going, but not to this extent. I mean, this is giving me indications and flashbacks to the Erskine teams from years gone, 2023, 2022, that were home run reliant.
Now one foul tipped. We talked about just how much of a hitter's park this is, and again, this is the first day we've had 6 home runs in not even 12 full innings yet. And I'm considering the offenses that are scheduled to play here later tomorrow, I don't think those will be the last home runs we see. Especially when I think we have a situation here. I think they're trying to reset the pitch clock. And so White will step back in and reset. And here's the 2-2 to Yates. Now it misses high for ball 3. There is like some more activity in the Southern Wesleyan bullpen. Gavin Kent warming up. See if he gets his opportunity here. And White trying to work out of this. 3-2. That one in there for strike 3. So Yates goes down looking to end the inning, but not before Erskine puts up 3 more runs on the board as we head to the 4th. The Fleet lead 8-1 here at the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. We'll take one more look at Steven Kreiner going yard as the Fleet have it rolling here in Gastonia. We'll be right back here in the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. Welcome back here to Caramon Health Parking, Gastonia. Tony Venegas alongside Ben Auden as we go to the top of the fourth. Erskine with an 8-1 lead over the Warriors. Southern Wesleyan trying to get things back going, but Chase Gruby back on the mound for the Fleet. And been a little bit of a different look for them this season with under the co-head coaches, but I think Ben that Erskine's definitely found some success, especially late in the season, being able to take that series from Young Harris.
It's pretty rare. I don't know that it exists anywhere at this level or higher in college baseball to have two head coaches.
The ground ball, fielded cleanly, and that's a good throw from the shortstop Danny Villafane to retire the first batter, Perry Dyer, here in the fourth.
Danny Villafane has a great arm over there. Short 1 pitch, 1 out to start the inning for Gruby. Here's another look at it. Villafane kind of bobbled it a little bit and then stumbled a bit, but there's that arm strength. Still had plenty of time to get Dyer by a step. So you go back to last year and the end of last season, and then head coach Mark Crocco, who had been there for, I think, 7 years at that point, gets an opportunity to be a head coach on one of the Banana Ball expansion teams with the Loco Beach Coconuts, which, look, if you ever met head coach Mark Crocco, you would know that's custom made for him. That spot is custom made, and that opportunity was perfect for him. But it left the Fleet needing a head coach, and it kind of happened in the middle of the fall semester in Due West. And look, you'd have to ask athletic director Mark Peeler, really, if you wanted to know exactly the decision behind having co-head coaches.
As that ground ball is up the middle from Cade Bowling, that'll be a base hit as Southern Wesleyan tries to rally here down by 7 runs.
But I think part of the reasoning behind it was roster retention, player retention. Erskine didn't want to lose a bunch of guys in the winter window and let them go into the portal, and because when a coach leaves, you're allowed to go into the portal, and certainly if you had brought in a whole new staff, that may kind of push some guys away. And I don't think the Fleet wanted that.
As a little pop-up and double off there for Erskine, so a little bit of a tough break there for Southern Wesleyan, but heads-up play by Ricky Dober to get the pop-up and then double the runner off of first base, and just like that, the inning is over. Take one more look at it.
I think Bowling just slipped over there in between first and second.
That's what it looked like. So your classic pop-up 5-3 double play, and just like that, the inning is over. And Southern Wesleyan appears to be making a pitching change. We'll tell you about it here in a second. We'll be right back here in the Conference Carolinas Digital Network.
Keep up to date on all the things happening in Conference Carolinas by visiting conferencecarolinas.com daily.
Welcome back here to Caramon Health Parking, Gastonia. Tony Venegas alongside Ben Auden. So we head to the bottom of the fourth. And Erskine with an 8-1 lead on Southern Wesleyan. New pitcher in the game for the Warriors is number 7, Gavin Kent, freshman right-hander from Dayton, Ohio. He'll try to find a way to slow down this Erskine offense, who's already hit 4 home runs in the first 3 innings of this game.
Gavin Kent, another guy that's really come on down the stretch in the regular season and grown quickly in the trust and on the pecking order in that Southern Wesleyan bullpen. And so he's the next guy called upon, as you said, Tony, just to try to calm things down from a Southern Wesleyan perspective. But just to close that story I was telling in the top half of the inning about the co-head coaches that Erskine has had this year. So the Fleet were really worried about losing a bunch of guys in the winter portal if they went and got a brand new coaching staff. And so the decision was made, well, let's just promote 2 of the assistants that have been such a huge part of the recruiting in the program in years past. And Coach Jimmy Prince, Coach Scotty Bateman really were the ones who recruited just about all of the guys that are in the dugout right now for Erskine. And so in the hopes that by doing that, you keep that relationship there with a lot of the players, you keep a bulk of the guys in the program, and Erskine was able to do that. Now, it has come with kind of some worries and some concerns, certainly, because it's never really been done before at this level.
Right.
And you look at it on the surface, and Coach Prince is more of an offensive guy, and then Coach Bateman is more of a pitching and defense guy. That's where they have their backgrounds from. And so you felt like that would mesh well when things went right, but maybe if things went wrong, it could butt heads and could cause some problems in that way. But in the end, I mean, both of those guys are just such great people, and they have just gelled and meshed so well together, and they have ironed out all of the problems that you could think of from having co-head coaches and just dealt with all of it with really such grace that it really blew me away over the course of the season with how well they've handled it all.
Yeah, it's just impressive what they've been able to do as Potts strikes out and put out his complete at first base. Just a note here on as we go back to the 3rd inning. So the play with Quinn Allen with the ground ball and the throw behind. So it's officially been changed now to a hit on the play. So a single for Quinn Allen and then advanced on the throwing error by the first baseman Kirshner. And as a result, the home run by Kreiner, all of those runs are now earned as a result. And so that brings up McManus, who has delivered one of those 4 home runs. Actually 2 for 2 so far in this game, a home run and a single. So that one is fouled back off the netting. We got our 4 games tomorrow, I should say. North Greenville King will get us going here tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Francis Marion will play the winner of this game here between Erskine and Southern Wesleyan at 3 o'clock. And then in between that, the pitch is fired. That one's in there for strike 1 and 2. In between that, over at Sims Legion Park, we have UNC Pembroke facing Young Harris, and what should be a very, very entertaining matchup in that one. Then the nightcap, as the defending conference tournament champions Belmont Abbey host Mount Olive, or take on Mount Olive. That game is scheduled for a 7 p.m. start. That one misses high for ball 2. Just I think looking ahead to the first full day of the double elimination, we have a lot of very exciting matchups, on tap for tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun tomorrow. You get further ahead than that, obviously you're kind of playing the hypothetical game there, but there could be some really tasty matchups on Friday and Saturday, if we get them, of course.
We have ground ball from McManus. Tillman fields that one cleanly and a good throw. Get the runner out at first base, and they're 2 away here in the 4th.
It's a nice play by Tristan Tillman, Southern Wesleyan shortstop, roaming over up the middle to his glove side, fielded it cleanly, and then threw a strike from behind second base.
So here is Radke. Radke 0 for 2 so far here today. That one hit towards third base. A nice diving stop But that throw is wide that time, and a runner is safe. It was a good stop by Perry Dyer. That was not an easy play to make, but throw a little wide of the first baseman Kirshner. So Radke reaches safely, and the inning keeps going here with 2 out.
Yeah, I think if Perry Dyer could do it again, he might have just taken an extra second when he stood back up. He did the hard part. I mean, the gloving that ball, which is a hot shot off the bat of Radke, was difficult. Then he just looked like he rushed himself trying to make the throw.
And officially an error for the third baseman Dyer. That one hit in the air by Villafane over towards left field, and the catch is made. Side is retired. So a scoreless inning for Erskine as we head to the 5th. The Fleet still lead 8-1 here in the Conference Carolinas Digital Network.
In Conference Carolinas, they work hard to help build champions in body, mind, and soul. We are proud of our tradition. We are committed to taking this to an even higher level in the years to come. Please visit ConferenceCarolinas.com to learn more about Conference Carolinas and all of our amazing member institutions.
Welcome back here at Conference Carolinas Digital Network here in Gastonia. Tony Venegas alongside Ben Naughton as we head to the 5th inning, and Southern Wesleyan trying to make a comeback here. And we are going to have a pinch hitter to start things off here for Southern Wesleyan. It'll be number 71, Samuel Simons, due up here for the Warriors. Going back to work against Chase Gruby. Simons batting in the spot of the starting catcher tonight, Seth Pettit. A big swing and a miss that time for strike 1. Count goes to 1-1. Simons batting .310 on the season. His swings and misses at that one for strike 2. The sophomore from Fernandina Beach, Florida. Making his 30th appearance of the season. Got a couple of home runs and 13 RBI to his credit. That one misses. And Gruby has settled down very nicely after this first inning. Just 43 pitches coming into this. So has our plenty rested. That one swung on a miss for strike 3. And the out will be completed at first base for the first out.
Now batting, center fielder for 22, Matthew McCaffrey.
So that brings up Matthew McCaffrey, junior left-hander from Roswell, Georgia. McCaffrey reached on a fielder's choice and caught stealing. It's a ground ball right back to first base, and very easy play there for Quinn Allen. And just like that, they're 2 down here in the 5th. So go back to the top of the order for Southern Wesleyan, and Tristan Tillman trying to get on base. Talked about his ability to steal bases, 44 stolen bases on the season, but so far 0 for 2 is struck out and Pulling out to center field so far in his 2 plate appearances as that one misses for ball 1. Now misses low. And the count quickly goes to 3-0 on Tillman. Trying to reach base for the first time. Get something going here. That one is in there for a strike. Groovy sets, not really taking a whole lot of time between pitches here. Here's the 3-1. That one misses high for ball 4, and Tillman reaches base for the first time tonight. So he's safe at first. And that brings up Nolan Evett, the left fielder. So Tillman takes the lead off of first base. And looks like that one actually hit Evett. And so he reaches on a hit by pitch. So just like that, we got 2 on with 2 out. Looked like Groovy was moving right along here in this 4th inning, but now it's kind of running into a little bit of trouble. Take one more look at it. And it looks like he might have grazed his elbow. Now Schimmel will step up to the plate, but before that, got a meeting on the mound here. I think Erskine, you're just trying to get things settled back down. I mean, especially with Groovy. Only 55 pitches, 4 2/3 innings, have been moving along pretty well, but a little bit of trouble. Take a look at a different angle. Yeah, it looked like he just grazed the elbow there of his right arm. Now it looks like we'll have an offensive conference here as well. So Southern Wesleyan offensive conference here after the mound visit. So Schimmel has reached base safely in both of his plate appearances so far. Singled his first time up, or singled his last time up, I should say, was hit by a pitch back in the 1st inning. So 2 on and 2 out for the DH, and the ground ball right back up the middle. And that play is in time, no problem. A fielder's choice, and that retires the side here in the 5th. So no runs for the Warriors despite getting a couple runners on. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th inning, halfway through here in Conference Carolina's Digital Network.
Your business league now catching for Southern Wesleyan, number 32, Harrison Garrett.
Welcome back here to Caramount Health Park in Gastonia. New catcher in the game for Southern Wesleyan is number 32, Harrison Garrett. The senior from Knoxville, Tennessee. He takes the spot of Pettit. Also takes the spot of Simons, who came in to pinch hit in that last inning for the Warriors. So a new catcher in the game for Southern Wesleyan as we go to the bottom half of inning number 5. That brings up Ricky Dober to get things going here in the 5th for Erskine. Dober 0 for 2 so far. Struck out and flown out his first 2 plate appearances. And Gavin Kent back out to work on the mound for the Warriors. Good inning his last time up. Struck 11 pitches. That one misses high. That last inning. It was Dober, Hill, and Allen due up in this inning for the Fleet. Up 8-1. Hit 4 home runs so far in this game as that one is a called strike. It's turned into a very pleasant evening here in Gastonia. It's Kent, that one misses outside and gets away a little bit. Has been great experience ever since the conference moved the tournament out here to Gastonia just a couple of years ago, and great facility here and at Sims Legion Park just up the road. So that one misses outside for ball 3. As mentioned, 4 games tomorrow, 3 of them here, Caramount Health Park, and the other being over at Sims. As Kent sets and fires. That one misses for ball 4. So Dober reaches for the first time. And he draws a leadoff walk. Brings up Noah Hill. And now we're going to have a meeting on the mound. It appears that we are going to make a pitching change here for Southern Wesleyan. Going to take a quick break, and we'll tell you all about who the new pitcher is here in the Conference Carolinas Digital Network.
Back here at Caramont Health Park, and the new pitcher for Southern Wesleyan is the southpaw Tanner Lewis, 6 foot, 190-pound, redshirt freshman from Florence, South Carolina. Played at Florence Darlington Tech, which you may know as Flodar, one of the premier community college JUCO schools in the southeast region. And Lewis just trying to stop the bleeding right now. Will inherit a runner at first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Dober, the runner, over at first. And a left-on-left matchup against Noah Hill, who's yet to record in that bat today. Hit by pitch and a walk so far for the Erskine backstop. Scored a pair of runs. So Tanner Lewis, the 4th pitcher already used by Southern Wesleyan. Before he throws a pitch, we'll check on Dober over at first. Not much of a speed threat over there, Ricky Dober, just 2 stolen bases on the year. Not much of a lead to speak of either. Lewis's first pitch, a beauty, fastball low outside corner to get ahead. Tanner Lewis did not pitch last weekend. His last outing was April 21st against Anderson. Lasted just a third of an inning in that one. He stepped off, I think, to ask about, or as a disengagement. And then one of the Southern Wesleyan coaches, I think, was asking whether or not should have been a disengagement, or if it was pitch clock related maybe. But it looks like Lewis still does have 2 disengagements left. Hill drives that into left field. It drops in a base hit. Evitt gets it back in quickly, and Dober holds it second. A walk and a single to begin the 5th. With the Fleet looking for more. So another left-hander in the box in the form of Quinn Allen. He's got a couple of singles today. So they're Wesleyan expecting bunt. Allen swings away and rifles it into left field as well. Dober holds it third, and the Fleet have them loaded here in the 5th with nobody out. Told you this is an Erskine offense that has been on a tear lately. Won 14 of their final 19 games in the regular season, and in that span, they scored just a touch under 12 runs per game. Closed the regular season on a high and have continued that into conference tournament play. First pitch missed to Steven Kreiner. Feast or famine to start the night for Kreiner. Second inning strikeout, 3-run homer in the 3rd for the Erskine right fielder. Lewis is 1-0, missed downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes on Kreiner with nowhere to put him. The new catcher, Harrison Garrett, goes out to talk to Lewis. That might also be to give the Southern Wesleyan bullpen maybe some more time. There is action down there. A lefty throwing, which is interesting. Fleet have a whole host of right-handers due up, starting with Kreiner's in the box. It is Lucas Arventaitis, one of the Southern Wesleyan weekend starters, getting loose. Head coach Matthew Robinson and his staff just trying to find somebody who can slow things down on the mound. Kreiner ahead in the count, 2-0. Got jammed down the right field line and foul. better pitch there from Lewis after the mound visit. Wesleyan in on the corners on the infield, and Kreiner lost his bat. Yates in the on-deck circle had to jump out of the way to keep that from hitting him. Here's another look at it. Kreiner, no batting gloves, which is definitely rare these days. As he finished the swing, but you could just see that the bottom hand just completely came off the bat. Lewis ready, the 2-2. Missed low to run the count full. Now the payoff pitch, and Kreiner turns on it down the left field line. That's going to be trouble. It'll one-hop the wall. One run will score. Hill right behind Dober as the throw goes to third. Steven Kreiner adds on with a 2-run double. There's another look at the swing from Kreiner, who's up to 5 RBIs now, as he puts one in the left field corner, and Southern Wesleyan making their way out to the mound, and that's going to be it for Lewis. Another southpaw coming in for the Warriors. We'll tell you who it is and all about him when we come back on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. The next Southern Wesleyan pitcher is Lucas Arventites, 6'3", redshirt junior left-hander from Bluffton, South Carolina, transfer from USC Sumter, making his 18th appearance of the year. 11 of them have been starts. He inherits runners on second and third. Still no outs here on the bottom of the fifth, and Carson Yates, the hitter. Yates also with a home run and a strikeout on his scorecard today. There's a strike at the top of the zone. And how about the bottom three, really, in the Erskine order? 6 hits, a couple of homers, 8 RBIs between Allen, Kreiner, and Yates. And a chance for Yates to add to that total. Swings through that, and Arventites ahead 1-2. Infield end for the Warriors. And Yates lifts one down the left field line. It drops in, a base hit. That'll score 2 more runs. It goes all the way to the wall. Evatt had some trouble with it out there. Yates coasts into second with a 2-run double of his own. And it is 12-1 Fleet. Evatt, just kind of misplay that off the wall. With Yates' speed, I'm not sure it would have mattered, but he's got to just slow up going into second. The bottom part of the order just continues to shine for Erskine. Potts got underneath of it, out towards center. McCaffrey underneath, and throws a strike back into third to keep Yates at second. 5 RBIs apiece from Kreiner and Yates in the 8-9 spots in the lineup. First pitch strike to Mason McManus. Looking at it during the commercial break, or during one of the pitching changes, but Chase Gruby only on 56 pitches. It'd be interesting to see what the head coach, or co-head coaches for the Fleet elect to do as McManus gives that a ride out towards left center field, looking up high off the top of the left center field wall. Yates scores, McManus takes his spot at second, and the Fleet get another here in the 5th. 3 doubles in the last 4 hitters for the Fleet, and McManus missed another homer by a couple of feet. And as you see that hit way off the top of that left center field wall. McManus does get his second RBI of the day. Pierce Radke will hit. But as I was saying, it'd be interesting to see what co-head coaches Scotty Bateman and Jimmy Prince elect to do with a 12-run lead. Now, there is a run rule in effect, but it's kind of 2 different schools of thought, as that's cut off by Bowling. A strong throw. Kirshner couldn't pick it out. So Radke reaches. We'll wait on the official ruling there. So the Fleet have batted around here in the 5th. Here's another look at it. Nice play by Bowling. There's Radke booking it down the line to put the pressure on Southern Wesleyan second baseman. And Kirshner just couldn't dig it out of the turf. I believe they did give that as an error. Was an error. Called on Bowling. Danny Villafane, the hitter. So you just wonder now if the Fleet, with this sizable lead, will let Gruby sit. Only threw 56 pitches. He'd be available in a couple of days to come back and pitch again if needed. Then the other school of thought is, do you just let him go and try to see if he can get through the rest of this one, or at least make a dent in getting through the rest of it before having to go into the bullpen, and then you save a lot of other guys going into the double elimination portion. Strike at the top of the zone. 0-2 on Villafane. He's really been the only guy that has struggled at the plate today for Erskine. He's 0 for 3. Came in on a 6-game hitting streak. Arvin Tidies delivers, and Villafane fights it off. Villafane, the 9th to come to the plate in the inning for Erskine, who have scored 5 runs in the inning and are looking for more. And that hit Villafane on one of the legs. Didn't quite see which one it got him in. He will shed the guard, and that will load the bases now.
Yeah, take one more look at it here for Villafane. And Looks like we're going to have a change here. I'm not sure if it's a pinch hitter or a pinch runner. Appears to be pinch runner coming in for Erskine.
It did look a little awkward. Villafane kind of grimaced a bit after it hit him, and certainly with the score being what it is, probably don't want to take any chances on your starting shortstop. So Villafane comes out. Jacob Platt will be the runner over at first.
And Platt, Julia, senior from Prescott Valley, Arizona. Played at Eastern Arizona College before coming to Erskine.
Jacob Platt became a dad earlier this season. He has hit a couple home runs this year as well, and I don't think he hit one last year with the Fleet. And some of the guys were all joking after a couple of his home runs that he's got dad power now, and I guess that is a real thing.
I mean, sure.
There's a strike to Dober.
I mean, what Erskine's done in this inning, just really throughout this whole game, just impressive. I mean, we knew just offensively they were swinging the bats really well, but you could just tell that it looks like a ball that was in the bullpen made it on the field of play, so we had to stop for just a second. But like Erskine just put a charge into this game here. For Southern Wesleyan, you're just trying to get out of it to stop the damage and then give yourself a chance.
Dober drives that out towards right field, and a nice running catch by Taylor. Two runners will tag. McManus scores. Radke in the third. So Dober hit it hard. He'll have to settle for the sacrifice fly.
I mean, still getting the runs across any way you can. And it's now 14-1. Erskine just seizing control of this game here with already 6 runs here in the 5th inning.
Noah Hill singled and scored earlier in the inning.
I'm doing the math correctly. I believe this is the 11th, 12th batter of the inning.
There's a strike from Arvin Tides. Hey, Tony, you go back to those first 2 innings. You think about Ruby getting out of some trouble to limit the damage to just 1 run in the first, and then the out at the plate in the 2nd inning, and that was a crazy inning. It only had 3 hitters, but how different the game could have been for Southern Wesleyan if they were able to tack on some more runs.
And just, on top of that, you also had the situation where you potentially could have had strike 3 and that play, and then the next thing you know, Erskine hits 2 home runs out of the inning, and yeah, you're right, the game could certainly have flipped another direction.
There goes Platt, pitches outside, and Garrett will just put it in his pocket. So Platt steals second.
See a couple of guys from Erskine's dugout make their way towards the bullpen. We'll see if they start getting loose here.
Hill watches ball 4. That will reload the bases.
Yeah, but you kind of mentioned it. Just that there's a whole school of thought whether you try to let Ruby go for as long as he can, or whether it is a long tournament. So whether you also try to maybe save him for down the road.
You talked about it, I think, all the way back in the 1st inning, but the depth of the pitchers that Erskine has. You wouldn't really worry about them being in a spot where they've run out of pitchers now. Pitcher quality, maybe, but they've certainly got enough arms to get through a busy week like this.
Yep.
Big cut from Allen came up empty, and nothing in 2 on Quinn Allen, who's a perfect 3 for 3 at the plate, making just his 15th start of the season. Marvin Tidy's trying to bring this bottom of the 5th to a close. Good take from Allen.
Now, you did see Gruby over standing on top of the Erskine dugout with the ball in his hand, so you would think, or at least at one point you did, so you would think he'd at least come out to start the 6th inning.
Also have to think about the fact that it's been a long inning. A lot of time between Gruby's last pitch. Allen lays off that. Evens the count. Excuse me, swing, and it'll bounce into foul territory before Garrett could get a glove on it.
So actually, just going back to double check and do the math, Allen is in fact the 12th batter in this inning for Erskine. As you mentioned it, like this is a Erskine offense that can hit. They certainly have had a lot of games this year where they put up a ton of runs, and certainly putting that on display here tonight.
The next 2-2. Chopper towards first, but foul, and we'll do it again. This has probably been more of the recipe that we have seen from Erskine when things have gone well offensively this year. And the home runs in the first 3 or 4 innings, not really been what the Fleet have done, but this 5th inning, bringing 12 guys to the plate, a bunch of different guys with base hits. Allen, it's a mile high into shallow right field. Taylor will give away the second baseman. Boulding makes the squeeze to mercifully bring the inning to an end for Southern Wesleyan, but not before the Fleet score 6 more and have opened it up on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network.
For Erskine in the 5th, 6 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, 3 runners left on base. Conference Carolinas preparation is unmatched in excellence and earned negative. 16 current members of the are daily champions in body, mind, and soul. It's who we are. Please visit ConferenceCarolinas.com for more about Conference Carolinas.
Welcome back here at Conference Carolinas Digital Network. Game 2 of the 2026 Conference Carolinas Baseball Championship. Tony Venegas alongside Ben Otten as we start inning number 6. And Erskine firmly taking control of this game with a 6-run 5th inning, now leading 14-1. And if you're Southern Wesleyan at this point, you're just trying to find a way to just generate some runs and just try to keep yourselves in the game here.
You basically just have to start over,
Yeah.
and you just have to not even pay attention to the scoreboard and just try to start grinding out at bats and scratching across some runs. Maybe you get a little bit of momentum going.
That one's in there for a strike from Gruby. Defensive change there for Erskine. Platt, who came in as a pinch runner, he stays in the game as the shortstop for the Fleet. Misses low, and due up here for Southern Wesleyan is Kirshner, Dyer, and Bowling for the Warriors against Gruby, who I think has pitched very, very well. Just that one is fouled out of play. not even 60 pitches through 5 innings. I mean, not only is he 3 strikeouts, but he's the 5 hits, but he's really been, I think, in control. I mean, ever since the first inning.
It's kind of funny how things have repeated themselves for Gruby against Southern Wesleyan. The difference being in the regular season meeting, Southern Wesleyan took full advantage of Gruby not being very sharp in the first inning. They got him for 4 runs. In that go-round, only 1, and certainly had a chance for some more runs. But since then, Gruby has really settled in.
As a fair ball goes off the bag on the first base side, or the third base side, rather. That'll be a base hit for Kirshner. Get things going here in the 6th inning. Take another look at that. Is right down the line as you can get, and then looks like it deflected off the base there.
Yeah, caught right off the front of the third base bag, which got it over the diving Dober. Cole Kirshner just stays hot. Been hitting over 400 in the last 18 games coming in. He's got 2 more hits today.
So that brings up Perry Dyer, 0 for 2 so far. And takes a big swing and a miss at that one for strike 1. There is some activity in the Erskine bullpen. It looks like it's number 50, Nick Groover, is getting loose for the Fleet. So that one is lined down towards right field. That will be caught, and that will be the first out of the 6th inning.
Good starting position there from Steven Kreiner out in right field. Was able to run that down, and I think Luke Taylor is going to be called back. He was the scheduled hitter. It looks like Southern Wesleyan is going to go to its bench.
Yeah, so actually,
Bowling.
Yeah, Bowling was going to be due up, and now instead it looks like it's going to be number 2, Josh Long, coming up to pinch hit for Southern Wesleyan. Long, the senior from Edgewater, Maryland, getting an opportunity to come to the plate.
We were talking to Southern Wesleyan head coach Matthew Robinson a couple of days ago, and he just raved about this guy at the plate, Josh Long, who started over 100 games during his time in Southern Wesleyan. He had been a starter the last couple of years and has kind of lost that everyday role here in 2026, but the first pinch hitter usually used by Southern Wesleyan in most of their games, and he's been good in that role. And Coach Robinson was just raving about the selflessness of Josh Long, an upperclassman, a guy who's been around the program, who has kind of helped transform this program and get it going in the right direction under the leadership of head coach Matthew Robinson.
Yes. He faces a 2-1 count right now, and just really, like, when you're trying to kind of build up a program like Coach Robinson is, like, you really need those guys, those veteran guys, to kind of provide that leadership experience and really kind of that selflessness to really kind of create a culture. And then I think it's fair to say from our conversations with Robinson that Josh Long has really been that guy for them this year. So 2-1 count, or 2-2 count rather. Too long. Runner over on first base is Kirshner. Here's the pitch. That one lined into left field. That one's going to get down for a base hit. 1 hop off the wall. And so Josh Long delivers with a pinch hit single. And a good piece of hitting that time from the senior, getting on base and trying to provide a little bit of spark, a little bit of energy here for the SWU offense.
I told you he's been good in this pinch hit role, and got his barrel around and laced that into left field. Look at the swing. Been sitting on the bench all day and puts a good swing on a fastball from Gruby. Rips it off the left field wall. Southern Wesleyan had 16 wins in the regular season. 12 of them came away from home. We were asking Coach Robinson about that. He said, I think it shows the resiliency of this team. So don't expect Southern Wesleyan to just pack it in and just kind of go through the motions over the next couple of innings. They're going to fight until the final out. It's what they have done all year, particularly away from their home ballpark.
And that one from Taylor is going to get down for a base hit in the center field. Everybody moves up an extra base, and Southern Wesleyan has the bases loaded here with just 1 out. And as you mentioned, the bats making some noise, and this isn't a Southern Wesleyan team. This is the first at bat. Really the first really threat they've had since the first inning, and it looks like this might be the end of the day here for Chase Gruby. But I know he ran into a little bit of trouble here in this inning, but I think if you're Erskine, you got to be very, very pleased with what you saw from your left-hander.
There's no doubt, and I think part of the problems he ran into a little bit here in this inning were the long break between his appearances out on the mound. But gets into the 6th inning, and Erskine now can turn to its bullpen.
So we will take a quick break, and we'll tell you all about the new pitcher for the Fleet here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. Welcome back here to Caramount Health Park in Gastonia. Tony Venegas alongside Ben on new pitcher on the mound for Erskine is number 43, Coleman Garner, junior right-hander from Caddo, Alabama. And he comes into the game after a good start from Groovy, but a little bit of a tough situation to come in with the bases loaded and just 1 out.
You do have a big lead if you're Coleman Garner, but yeah, bases loaded, 1 out, so thrown right into the deep end.
As he faces the first batter of the inning, or his first batter will be Harrison Garrett, who's the catcher. He came in as a defensive replacement, so this was his first at bat.
Coleman Garner not going to overpower you, but he has really grown in the trust that co-head coach Scotty Bateman has using him out of the bullpen as the year has gone on.
And that one driven into right center field, getting underneath to make the catch. And everybody will try to tag, and that is a double play.
I tried to tell you Steven Kreiner is a 5-tool player. That is a cannon from right field. Oh, my goodness.
Wow, what a throw from Kreiner to end the inning. And I think after all that the run's not going to count. We'll take a look at it. It's a fly ball to right center field. Kreiner gets underneath it to make the catch. Instead of going home, he goes to third, and just what a throw.
I think the run did score. I wonder if Southern Wesleyan is challenging the play at third, maybe.
Let's see. Okay, so it looks like they are.
So did they call him? They called him out before. Who was it? Would have been Kirshner.
Yeah,
that was running home.
So that's what it appeared to be. So which normally this would be the safe signal, but like in that case, in that situation, the run does not count. Mm-hmm. If he pointed directly at home plate, then the run would count. So I think that's going to be the question.
It definitely looked like from the replay that Kirshner touched home. How about that throw, though? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so just a great throw. Let's see. Actually, with Kirshner, does he touch home plate? I mean, it looked like he did. But
well, having seen that again, I guess that angle kind of from behind home plate doesn't really show
right.
Kirshner actually touching the plate. I was just trying to kind of lining it up with as the tag happens.
So, like, you can actually see it, like, over here. So, ball comes in.
See, like, based on that, I mean, you kind of see where home plate is. Now, you can't see home plate.
Right.
And I don't know kind of what the leeway is with that. But based on that angle, I mean, it looks like right there he's touching it, and then the tag comes after that.
Right. So I think there's going to be two parts of this, whether one that the runner is going to be out at third, and then two with the run count that comes across home plate.
I also wonder if you can you kind of time up the two angles together? Like, can we? Or are the umpires allowed to stop
I believe they are.
Stop it
I believe they are, yeah.
And then show the angle from center field that shows Kirshner touching the plate. We haven't even really looked at the play at third, which I think is also what Southern Wesleyan's challenge
right,
is.
yeah.
As
So
well.
it looks like there's a two-part challenge here. So
Yeah.
the question. So the one thing we do know for sure is that we do have two outs. The question is, do we have a third out? And do we have a second run for Southern Wesleyan? Now
that might make it a pretty extensive replay, so
Yeah.
you kind of have to bear with the umpires here.
of course, like the umpires don't go into a replay booth to look at it. In fact, I think here's the call. Wow. So after all that, the run stands as called. So an inning double play, and the run does not score. So a tough break for Southern Wesleyan as we head to the bottom of the sixth inning. Erskine trying to add some more runs. We'll be right back here in the Conference Carolinas Digital Network.
As an institution founded to focus on faith, service, and faith, we share core values to strive to attain excellence and virtue in all that we do. Carolinas has a rich tradition and roots that dates to its initial inception on December 6, 1930. Our students are nationally recognized for their extraordinary success in the classroom, in the community, and the highest level of NCAA competition. Please visit ConferenceCarolinas.com to learn more about Conference Carolinas.
Welcome back here at Caramount Health Parking, Gastonia. Tony Venegas alongside Ben On as we head to the bottom of the sixth inning. Erskine in control here with a 14-1 lead on Southern Wesleyan. New pitcher on the mound here for the Warriors is number 14, Logan Brazel, the senior right-hander out of Bryan County, Georgia. Comes in a 6.67 ERA, making his 18th appearance of the season. Also got last time out against Shorter, pitched 2/3 of an inning. He had 3 runs, 1 hit, and a couple of earned runs. As the Warriors try to keep this deficit where it is, and that way they come up at the 7th, try to score some runs to keep the game going. As looks like we'll see the first batter of the inning here for Erskine.
That's Adrian Rolone, who's pinch hitting.
So, and also another defensive change. Josh Long is staying in the game to play second base for Southern Wesleyan. And pitch clock violation appears.
Ball one.
Ball
for
one.
Brazel. Adrian Rolone, he likes hitting here. I think he hit 3 home runs here as a true freshman a couple of years ago. 2 of them in the same game.
Yep. And it's an Erskine team that, the last time they were here, they made it all the way to Saturday. In fact, we're in this game and then made that run as far as they did. So, as we talked about, it's like, yeah, it's the playing game 7 through 10, but teams that they've made runs coming out of this game, coming out of this opening round.
I will say that 2024 run kind of surprised a lot of people. If Erskine replicates that to any extent this week, it won't surprise as many people. They're in this game because the top 6 in this league are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Erskine won 20 conference games. I mean, that's no joke. They hadn't won 20 conference games since 2016, and they're still in this play-in game because the other 6 teams in front of them also won 20 games, and they were just the last. They just ended up in the last spot based on how the KPI fared out. But this team has proven they can beat anybody throughout the course of the year. That team in 2024 just kind of got hot at the right time.
Yep. I mean, you take a look at the standings from the end of the regular season. North Greenville 28 wins, Francis Marion 27, Belmont having 26, Young Harris 24, and then UNC Pembroke and Mount Olive, 21 and 20 wins. Now Mount Olive did have its last game canceled because of weather, so that's why it was a 20 and 12, and Erskine 20 and 13. But yeah, it just goes to show just how deep and just how talent, just how much talent there is in this conference.
Every team that had won at least 20 conference games in this tournament, Rolone pops it up.
That's a good play.
Dyer, the third baseman, makes the play.
Yeah, but that's a good play by Dyer to get that first out.
But every team that had won at least 20 conference games in this tournament in the last 10, 15 years, or at least a 4 seed, at worst. North Greenville was a 4 seed last year in this tournament. They won 20 games. So to think about Erskine winning 20 games and being a 7 seed is pretty remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
It's Samuel Casado pinch hitting.
That one is hit hard but foul. The freshman from Puerto Rico. It was a foul ball, but it was a very loud foul ball.
He's got a good-looking swing up there, Samuel Casado.
Misses.
Just a freshman, so the tools are very raw for Casado, but you can see kind of what it could be.
Casado batting in the spot of Carson Yates. So we'll have a couple new outfielders for Erskine. So we get set to start the 7th inning. And you had mentioned earlier the guys at the bottom of the order, Kreiner and Yates, 5 RBI for each of those guys. Just when it doesn't matter what kind of team you have, you get that kind of production from the bottom of the order. That's really going to give you a boost.
You're probably going to win most games when your 8-9 hitters have 10 combined RBIs between the two of them.
And a ground ball. Fielded cleanly by Long. Makes the throw in time for the second out. A nice play by Long. Had to range over a little bit to get that one, but able to stay in control and make a good throw over to first base. And that will be second out. And it appears we're going to have a defensive change here coming for Southern Wesleyan. Let's see 20 coming in. We'll see where he's going to end up going. Looks like it's going to be for Tillman, I think. It's Wade Turner.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're going to give Tristan Tillman a chance to embrace some of his teammates and have his teammates embrace him. And, man, I mean, just such a special player Tristan Tillman has been. And having a chance to talk to Southern Wesleyan head coach Matthew Robinson, he said that guy he left it all out there.
Yeah, he really did.
He gave it everything he had, and so very deserving for the guy in Tristan Tillman just to get some love from his teammates and appreciate what he has done over the course of this season in particular, setting a school record in stolen bases.
And it looks like we have more defensive changes coming. I think he's giving his seniors a chance to get a send-off here. So let's see. Coach Reed, number 4. Chance Kennedy, number 6. It looks like Jack Dennison, number 1, is also coming in. So we're going to have a whole reshuffling of the lineup here. And Ash Falk looking like he's coming into the game as well. So Brazel also looks like, let's see, where is he going here? I think we're going to just making sure everybody gets a send off here. I think, and this is a really cool thing. And you know, we in our conversations with Coach Robinson, you know, he talked about just how much it meant for Southern Wesleyan to get back to this point, to get back to the postseason, and just kind of building the program in his image. And like a lot of these guys coming out of the game, I've been a big part of that, especially since Robinson has been there. So I think this is a really cool thing that these guys are getting a send off here on this stage.
Yeah, you said in his image, but one of the things that he really talked about was he gave so much credit to this group of players for buying into the culture that he hopes set. And he said he hopes that making it here this year gives this program a boost down the road, and they can kind of continue to build on the momentum that they kind of created here in 2026.
Yep, so we got you through all the defensive changes here. So the two we do know is that, at least on the mound, Ash Falk is coming in to pitch, the redshirt senior. He is coming in on the mound for Southern Wesleyan. Wade Turner comes in at shortstop to replace Tillman. And also Wade Turner, kind of a cool thing from right up the road in Concord, so gets a little bit of a local feel for it. And Chance Kennedy, number 6, is at second base, the freshman from Easley, South Carolina. So several defensive changes here.
I was trying to look at the home plate umpire. I think it's going to be a new right fielder and left fielder.
I believe so, yeah. I did see 4. Coach Reed is coming in 4, and then 1 is at left field.
That's Jack Dennison.
That's Jack Dennison at left, and then Reed is at right.
So Asphalt continuing to get loose. I hope that was all the changes, but yeah, that was really special just to see, and Coach Robinson showing his appreciation, and the Southern Wesleyan staff showing their appreciation for this group of seniors and guys that have been in the program the last couple of years. And we kind of talked about it over the course of the night, but when head coach Matthew Robinson got there, it was rough for Southern Wesleyan baseball. It was not pretty, to be completely honest with you, and he basically had to restart, and he has done that, has gotten this program back in the conference tournament for the first time since 2021, and hopes it's only the start of things to come, further down the road in the years to come as well.
So after all the defensive changes, back to the top of the order for Erskine. And so it's Potts. Drew Potts leading things and getting his opportunity here at the plate once again. Potts 1 for 4. Does have a run batted in to his credit. So this is also one of those games where has an official score, like at this point, you're just trying to make sure you have the right people at the game.
Yeah.
That one
Stat
is
keepers
outside.
Stat keeper's worst nightmare.
Yep, and I think, Ben, you and I could speak to personal experience about dealing with all the defensive changes, especially with when games become one-sided, which that it happens sometimes. And this is low. Count goes to 3-0. It's a strike. So obviously still at least another, finish up this inning and then at least another half inning left. But if this result holds, then Erskine and Francis Marion, who just played not that long ago, will be set to face off here tomorrow afternoon. Potts lines that one into center field. And getting underneath it to make the catch is McCaffrey. And that retires the side here for Erskine. So a 1-2-3 inning for the Warriors. We go to the 7th. Southern Wesleyan needs 4 runs to keep the season going. We'll see what happens here as we head to the 7th. We'll be right back here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network.
Back here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network, some defensive changes to get you up to date on from an Erskine perspective. Brock Donnelly, the new catcher. Right as I say that, but he's walking over. I think he needs a new pitch comm device, which will give me a chance to introduce some of the other newcomers for the Fleet. Rolone stays in the game and goes into right. Casado stays in the game and goes into center. New first baseman Luke Garabedian. New second baseman Evan Rodriguez. Blake Hull, the new third baseman. And then the new pitcher is Nick Groover.
So everybody got all that? So just I had to a lot of changes here at this point. A lot of guys getting in the game here. You have a new pinch hitter as well for Southern Wesleyan, number 30, Cade Linker. Get things going here in the 7th. Linker pitching or batting in the spot that McCaffrey had.
Get your cuts in, big fella.
Oh, man. And he swung about as hard as he could on that one. And Groover out to work the 7th as that one lined up the middle. That's a base hit for Cade Linker. And you got a few enthusiastic cheers from the Southern Wesleyan dugout.
He must be a favorite among the Southern Wesleyan
for
teams.
Sure.
Or team, excuse me.
Here's we're going to have another pinch hitter here. This is Vincent Engel, number 17. Coming up, just making his 6th appearance of the season, the senior from Yerington, Nevada. I think at this point you're just trying to get guys that been with the program, get them an opportunity to get in the game, and I think it's a really cool thing that you're giving these guys an opportunity. That one is hit in the air. Erskine giving chase to it. That's going to go into the bullpen and out of play. Had about 3 or 4 different guys giving chase to that, and the pitchers and a couple of the guys in the bullpen just get out of the way.
You can't fault the hustle, but
no.
The last thing you'd want to see is somebody getting hurt.
No,
for
sure.
Fleet. But you were talking about getting guys in there, and I mean, Vincent Engel, for example, gets to say he got it an at bat in the Conference Carolinas tournament. Like, how cool is that?
Yep. I mean, especially like if you're a senior. I mean, this might be the last at bat you ever get as on your career. So definitely a special moment for these guys, and for Southern Wesleyan to be able to at least just get back here, I think is a really cool thing. As Engel swings and misses at that one for strike 3. That brings up Jack Dennison. Came in the last inning as a defensive replacement in the left field.
Number 1, Jack Dennison.
Dennison, the junior from Niceville, Florida. Also listed as a pitcher, a two-way player. Ground ball hit right back at the middle. Shortstop goes to the bag. That's one, and that play is going to be in time for a double play, and that will do it here from Caramont Health Park in Gastonia. The run rule in effect, the 10 runs after 7 innings, and Erskine with an impressive 14-1 victory over Southern Wesleyan here tonight.
Fitting that it ends in a double play. There were 3 of them turned by the Fleet. 3 inning-ending double plays this afternoon. I guess the only thing more fitting would be if something happened offensively to end the game, because a 14-run outburst from the Fleet. Home runs from Drew Potts, Mason McManus, Steven Kreiner, and Carson Yates, all in the first 3 innings, and then that 5-run 6th inning that really blew this thing wide open. We told you the Fleet were hot coming in, and they looked the part in this play-in round, and they have a date with Francis Marion tomorrow.
Yeah, so you got a very full day of baseball coming up tomorrow here from Caramont Health Park in Gastonia. You take a look at the final box score. Once again, 14-1 is your final. Chase Gruby getting the win. 5 1/3 innings, 73 on just 73 pitches, 1 run, 8 hits, 3 strikeouts. Just if you're looking in terms of quality, like on the mound, like you got exactly what you were hoping to see from your left-hander, Gruby.
I would imagine it's probably a little bit of a different feeling for Chase Gruby. Normally he's been in the middle of series when he has taken the mound, and he gets the ball in the first game of the week for the Fleet, and as has been the case a couple times this year, that first inning can be a little bit shaky, but he survived it tonight, limited the damage, and then was really sharp all the way until that 6th inning. And then Coleman Garner and Nick Gruber did a nice job out of the Erskine bullpen. And for the Fleet, you check a lot of different boxes.
Yep.
But the first thing, and probably the most important thing, at least if you ask co-head coach Scotty Bateman, who runs this pitching staff, is Gruby didn't have to throw a lot of pitches.
Nope.
So he could be available deep down the road in this tournament. And then it was pretty easy for Garner and Groover in a couple of low-leverage spots. So you keep just about everybody available going into the start of the double elimination portion of the bracket tomorrow.
Yep, and then you also take a look at some of the highlights here. Of course, there's Potts with his home run. As you mentioned, Carson Yates with the home run, Kreiner with the home run. Like, again, you get your 8 and 9 hitters with 5 runs driven in each. I mean, that's just great production. I mean, you'd be happy with just a couple of RBI from each of those guys, but just the fact that you were able to get those from your bottom 2 in the order, really kind of set the tone, set the pace for this Erskine team. And for Southern Wesleyan, obviously not the ending that they were hoping for, but I think, in my opinion, I think you got a guy like Matthew Robinson who that program is trending in the right direction. Then you've got a lot of guys who have been a part of trying to trying to get this program back into postseason, back into contention. And I do think it was a very cool gesture to see the seniors and a lot of those guys that have meant so much to this program the last few years to kind of get them that recognition, that send off coming off the field.
There's no doubt about it. And look, Southern Wesleyan earned their way into this tournament.
Yep.
Not everybody makes this tournament. You have to win games in conference play to make this tournament. They did just that. They won on the final Saturday of the regular season against Shorter to get in this week, and first time in 5 years they had been in this event. I mean, that's a big deal for Southern Wesleyan, and again, just can't say enough about head coach Matthew Robinson and the kind of person he is and the kind of program that he's building at Southern Wesleyan.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the kind of program that's like the kind of season that you can kind of start building on towards the future. At least try to build on it, and for a lot of these guys that'll be coming back next year, it's like, hey, you got to the postseason. Like, this is what it takes in order to compete in the postseason. And as we wrap up there with the highlights, but again, they just ran into an Erskine team that just got hot with the bats early and never could regain that. But got a very, very full day of baseball tomorrow and a lot of good games coming up on deck. Up first will be the number 1 seed North Greenville. They'll be facing off against King, who won the first playing game earlier this afternoon against Emmanuel. First pitch of that game is scheduled for 11 a.m. And then at 1 p.m. over at Sims Legion Park, just up the road from where we are, it's the number 4 seed Young Harris Mountain Lions and the number 5 seed UNC Pembroke Braves. And you want to talk about a team that can swing the bat offensively. That Young Harris team is something else. And going up against a Pembroke pitching staff, whether it's McCauley, or Jacob Smith, whoever gets the start in that game tomorrow. I mean, this guys that have produced a lot of quality innings for that Braves team.
Yeah, that should be fun. Over there at Sims Legion, UNC Pembroke probably doesn't have the gaudy offensive numbers of years past, but they are very capable, and they like to play here.
No, for sure.
They have played well in Gastonia in the last couple of years, so that should be a lot of fun over there at Sims Legion tomorrow.
And then the second game here, third game of the day, is against this Erskine team going up against Francis Marion, which they just played each other a couple weeks ago, and I want to talk about, like, Erskine put up a lot of runs in that game. I mean, Francis Marion ultimately took the series, but that's a game that could provide a lot of fireworks. And, of course, Francis Marion has Conference Player of the Year, Charlie Bussey, who's just put up some ridiculous numbers this year. And I think that game's going to be very, very entertaining tomorrow.
If you haven't seen Charlie Bussey, the third play, you'll probably get a chance to at the next level before too long because he's that good. But, I would highly recommend tuning in tomorrow. He is just a can't-miss superstar talent that Francis Marion has. It's not just him either. They have a bunch of other guys as well, but that should be a lot of fun. I will say that Erskine-Francis Marion series in the regular season was spicy. I would expect some more of that tomorrow.
And then to wrap it all up, tomorrow is the defending conference tournament champions, Belmont Abbey. They take the field for the first time against Mount Olive in a rivalry in a little bit of a rivalry of its own between those two teams, and they have some history in this tournament over the last couple of years. But the Crusaders, a very experienced team, very talented, and I think it's going to be a little bit different knowing that they're coming in as the defending tournament champions. But again, just a great that last game should be very, very good in its own right.
Yeah, well, all of the games should be good, but certainly that one and Belmont Abbey they're really good once again, and I know they'll be the hunted going into the week, but they're also old and they're experienced and they're talented and they're probably built, you would think, to be able to handle being the hunted. But they start off with a tough one because Mount Olive took them some time to put it together, but they have figured it out. And so I expect that to be a really good game, and I think we're in set for a really fun first full day here in Gastonia.
Yep, so be sure to come on back tomorrow. We're going to have a fun day of baseball here at the park. Should be a beautiful day here in Gastonia, North Carolina, as we have 4 games all right here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. So that'll do it for us here from Gastonia. For Ben Otten, I'm Tony Venegas saying thank you very much for tuning in to day 1 of the 2026 Conference Carolinas Baseball Championship. We will see you tomorrow, first pitch at 11 a.m. here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. So long, everybody.